What's up, guys? A very short update on price of Bitcoin. Well, as you can see, we have a quite a positive price action recently. I would like to point out, of course, that we reached almost $67,000, and with that kind of achievement, it doesn't seem like a big deal, right? And moreover, it looks like it's very similar to what we had so far in previous consolidation and correction. We almost changed the trend. We almost reached we almost started the new bull trend here, but it didn't happen, and we actually have a lower low. But at here, I don't think that it actually should be the same way, right? Like it would be too simple, right? It should be something new in order to make to trick you. And moreover, I think that this is exactly what may happen with this bottom. So if you just assume for a second that this is the bottom of the market at the moment, right? And we are in front of the new long-term bull market, then it doesn't look like the bottom, right? There is no the significant volume which was released here. There is no a clear and deep escalation and acceleration of the decline in price, and there's no strong pullback either, right? Instead, this is actually like $66,000 as a support, as the previous bottom, maybe like 62 if you look at the local lows. And then we dropped a little lower than that. And in fact, that could be just a false breakout. And then we are testing the level of the previous support, which is now resistance. And what happens then, if we break it to the upside, that would be quite of the signal for the fact that this is exactly the false breakout, and similar to the situation which we had, let's say, in the previous low around here. We have all the factors like FTX, Alameda, Celsius, so much of the downside pressure. Yet instead of actually having this clean bottom, it was pretty shallow, I would say. There was not any like a huge drop or acceleration of the decline in price. So instead, we slowly but steadily started to grow, and then from 15,000 we grew up to 125. So maybe this is exactly the case. Not necessarily this is actually a bear market. This may be just like prolonged correction, which we discussed many times. But this way of tricking us is, I think, it does make sense. It does make sense in many ways. Yet locally, I like those pullbacks. I like those ways of the price being bought back from the local corrections, and the sequence of higher highs and higher lows, and still the lack of being like overbought too much. So it's still like a bullish trend, bullish range, but it's not overbought to the extreme. So we have still room to growth. And again, currently there is a resistance. We are testing it over and over again, and probably we'll have a good chance to break it to the upside. So not necessarily this is like extremely bullish, but things are piling up, and also the fact that we don't see the S&P 500 going upwards, and that's how you may assume that this is the correlation between Bitcoin and crypto and equities. So that's why it is growing instead. So it's kind of sideways, and moreover, we can see it's sometimes correcting to the downside, but at the same time, Bitcoin is actually going up. So that means that we don't need S&P 500 to grow, which is really positive in my opinion. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, but so far pretty positive, pretty optimistic in my point of view. Actually better than I expected before. I personally didn't think at least that this is a solid bottom. It doesn't seem to be a solid bottom to me either, but it could be. It could be that I underestimate the crypto space, as people usually do. So, and we will see it going up again. Okay, guys, that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. See you again next week. And let me know if you have any questions or comments here on Telegram or Twitter, everywhere. Again, see you next week. Goodbye.